Everybody, welcome to Life Untamed. I am here with the exhilarating Lizzie and Atunes. Hey, Lizzie, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for being here today. And
Thanks
Lizzie,
for having me. I'm so excited.
yeah, totally. I just met Lizzie recently on Facebook, and I saw a bunch of stuff she was doing, and it totally resonated with me. She is all about helping people make stacks of cash, have amazing sex, live the life of their dreams, have everything they've ever wanted. And she is just badassery complete. And I'm so glad to have you here. And everyone's going to love you because you are just a star, like about to erupt onto the world. You're just the goddess of the high heavens coming through.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
That was such a powerful intro. Thank you.
You're loving that, right? You're loving that. But no, seriously, I saw a couple of your videos and on your page and whatnot, and you are truly living a life untamed, which is the name of this podcast, which is all about just being untamed, breaking free from all the bullshit. And you are living the life more so than I even am. And I just had to have you on the show. So thanks for being here.
Yay. I'm all about liberation, actually.
Right?
So this is perfect. I love
Yeah.
it. I love all that you do, bringing beautiful people onto your platform. I think it's awesome. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We need people who inspire people.
Right.
And you guys, if you're feeling inspired, keep inspiring others. This is the sharing love business, This is what
Contagious.
business is actually about.
Right. It catches on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you specialize in liberating people. Tell me a little bit about that. How do you liberate them? What do you liberate them from? What do you do?
Well, that's kind of it's a very simple question, but it's also a huge question. So I'm just going to go into the simple answer first, and then we can dig deeper if you feel like it. But yeah, to me, liberation is all about setting ourselves free from things that feel compressing and like constricting to us. So the simplicity of it is to just expand and stretch and being able to take our full size and take our full splendor. So that's the simple answer to, what I actually do is I really get people comfortable to their bodies in such ways that they will feel and start to feel when things around them or inside of themselves, such as thoughts and emotions, feel constricting. And so we're going right in there. We're going into the contraction, into the constriction together. And then I utilize different tools. Most of the time, it's tools that are connected to release emotions. And by going into the constriction and really feeling that tightness, people start to understand that they don't have to live that tightness. They can just, throw it off and expand again. So I guess that's in a nutshell what I do with people when they come to me. And it's interesting because not only do I do that with clients, I do it very often with friends and with people who are just surrounding me. I just literally bullet point like, oh, that person is feeling constricted like this and like this. And it's like my brain is wired like that. My brain is wired to sense the constriction and the contraction in people and to understand what it's like to release that, right? Because I guess, it always boils down to a personal story. And my personal story has led me into huge amounts of constriction. So I used to be a dance teacher in London. I lived in London for 8 years. And I guess I went to London with this big dream. I'm going to become a professional dancer. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And then I get to London and everything just collapses. Like my dreams started to collapse one by one. And I ended up, in a relationship that didn't feel right. It ended up in a career that didn't feel quite right. It ended up in in, in locations that didn't feel right. I ended up in a whole lifestyle that didn't feel right. And so I would say the culmination of that constriction was when I became pregnant. And I had to opt for an abortion for various reasons, but the have to kind of sounds like it was something outside of me, but the outside circumstances made me have to take that decision because it wasn't right in that moment. And thankfully, I was going through a journey of liberation from previously already. So I had, been working with a therapist, and I had been in huge amounts of depression and things like that. So I found someone that I really resonated with. Her name is Fernanda Barros, by the way. She's fantastic. If you are in a rut and you're really like looking to liberate yourself from, the shackles and do it the little bit untraditional way. So she's very holistic and very spiritually connected about her work, which is exactly what resonated with me. I couldn't do the normal symptom treatment. I had to get to the root of the cause, right? And so diving into that with her really allowed me to embody my no, right? Embody saying no to this lifestyle, saying no to the relationship, eventually saying no to all these things that were just compressing and feeling so heavy on me. And what happened was an amazing thing. And I mean, I said no with the total unknown, right? So it was the first time I really faced the unknown in such a vivid way, right? So just really going into the depths of it, like a woman who is considering abortion, there's so much baggage that comes up. It's huge. It's like humongous, right? Not only have you got to deal with the fact that you have to take care of yourself and your body in this situation, but also taking care of all these thoughts that are in your mind, right, that rise up, like I'm a bad person, I'm killing life, I'm all this conditioning that I was going through. And so even the conditioning that I was in about my relationship, how would this affect my relationship, how would this affect my partner, and like I really, so it wasn't in full resonance. And this wasn't the way I wanted to go through pregnancy. I didn't want to go through pregnancy feeling like I wanted and so yeah, I guess what happened was just a beautiful journey into my own freedom, because by saying no to that particular situation that I was in, I was able to really empower the no, take the fully empowered version and embodied version of my no. And it was really impactful for me, because after that I started to understand that, wow, if I can say no to something this big, oh my gosh, I can say no to anything that doesn't feel right? So from then I started to shed all the layers and disconnect from things that didn't feel right. And then what emerged was the yes. What is it that I'm actually saying yes to here, right? If I'm saying no to all these things, what is my actual yes, right? So yeah, this led me into an amazing catapult in life. So I was able to just allow myself to travel even if I didn't have the money, to allow myself to do stuff even though I thought that in my mind it wasn't even possible, right? And so I started to take huge, bigger and bigger leaps every time. It's a little bit like when you're a child and you're trying to practice to jump from that that 5-meter board, right? You're kind of practicing the first, you do the 1 meter and you go, oh my gosh, that's scary, and then you jump, and then, oh, but that was so much fun, I'm going to do that again. And then you do that over and over and over again until you're actually standing at the top of the cliff. And that was me in Santorini. I jumped from a 10-meter cliff in Santorini.
Yeah.
And that that moment was so incredibly empowering to me, because I was like, okay, here I am standing on the top of this cliff. I'm fucking scared, right? I don't know what's going to happen, but there's all these people jumping down. Why am I not jumping? And in that moment, it hit me. Okay, I'm just afraid of death, right? But what's the worst thing that could happen, right? If,
Right,
you know,
right.
like if death is what scares me, you know, like I'm in life right now. So am I saying no to these things because I'm scared of death? Like, really? You know, how much do I trust the universe having my back, right? And
Hmm.
so, you know, going in and out of that, I finally jumped, and, you know, I did hurt myself. I'm not saying
How'd
that
you
I
hurt
did hurt
yourself?
myself. I had a huge bruise like on my leg.
From the
It was
water?
bad.
Or did you hit rocks on the way down?
No, 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 no. I just hit the water in a very,
All right.
you know, clumsy way, I would say.
Yeah.
But, and then what happened was, okay, I hurt myself. I was shaking for like 20 minutes. And I went back on the cliff and I said, I'm going to jump again, because I'm not walking out of here with this memory of pain. Like, fuck no, I'm going to do it again. So it took me about 20 to 30 minutes to, you know, go over it, you know, mentally, that, you know, I would just, because then I wasn't scared of death anymore. Then I was scared of pain. You see the thing? So the fear shifted. I was
Right.
like, okay, so the fear shifts. So what? Like, nothing else can happen. And then, yeah, so I jumped and it was smooth as butter. Like,
Nice.
and I was like, what? Was that it? Was that really it? And so this is just, you know, this long story just to tell you guys that our fear really gets us. It hijacks our body. It really does. And there's a whole mental construct that keeps us in that fear and keeps us trying to stay away from that fear. And I don't know if you have you heard of the book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway?
Yes, I've heard of it. I haven't read it.
Yeah. I haven't read it fully. I just read like a couple of chapters and that just like released it. I was like, that's it. And I do that many times. I don't know about you, but I do it many times. I feel like I buy books and I read that one chapter I need to read, and then that's it. You know, like
Right.
I just move on. It's almost like my being. I mean, there's spiritual gurus who say that, you know, they're able of like absorbing knowledge in a book by just holding them. I feel like, you know, all of this new generation kids, and, you know, including myself and you, I think we're all totally able to do these things, right? But my point is, you know, sometimes that which we find is actually the triggering point for what we need to do next, right? And trusting that as well is a whole journey.
Right.
You know, trusting that, okay, I have these 10 books, which one am I going to get? I'm going to get this one. And you just get that, and then you just open a page and there it is, right? So it's just
So that's how you read. You do like intuitive reading. You just open it up, boom, this is it. Oh, okay. Put it away and that's it. Done.
Yeah.
You're done with the book.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I've heard of people doing that.
Sometimes I do read
That's
books
amazing.
fully as well, because that kind of sounds like I'm like
But what
I
if
do read books as
you're not
well,
concerned
but
about missing something else in that book?
I am, of course, yeah. And then I'll go back and I read.
Right, right. So you mentioned, so first of all, like you were in Greece, the greatest country in the world. I'm Greek. So you should have felt fucking completely empowered in Santorini.
Yeah.
Anyways,
It was amazing.
that's great that you had that experience. You know, fear does constrict you. You know, I've dealt with the fear of public speaking, and it's right here. Everything starts to fucking tighten up, and you start like gasping for your air. I don't know if you've ever experienced that. It's fucking horrific.
Yes.
It's horrible,
Yes.
right? And I've been dealing with that for years. I joined Toastmasters and I've done hypnosis for it, and I started winning all these contests and stuff. But so how do you move through that constriction, right? I'm feeling tight in the chest, right? I'm nervous. I see a pretty girl. I want to go ask her out, right? Men suffer from this all over. They're so fucking afraid to go talk to women and ask them out, right? So what's your advice for some guy at home that sees a beautiful woman? He wants to go talk to her, and he's all clusterfucked in his head. He has no clarity because he can't think straight. You know what I mean? Do you have like an exercise or something they can like bang out real quick in their mind or something to get over that?
Yeah, just the golden nugget. Just use that, baby. There's my magic. No, of course, yeah, there are a few things that you can do in the moment for sure, but I think that the biggest realization is to understand why you are afraid, right? And going into that, okay, why am I afraid? Why am I afraid to go and talk to this beautiful woman? I'm afraid that I might not please her. I'm afraid that I might, be rejected.
It's always a fear of rejection.
My fear of rejection, that people think whatever, right?
Fear of embarrassment.
That's right. So what I feel, what helps me, like I used to have that public speaking thing as well. And being a dancer actually was something like fear of showing myself was a huge thing that I had to move through. I don't think I've moved through it in my dance career, but I moved through it afterwards. And it's just to understand the impact that you're going to create on yourself if you don't go, right? If you don't go, that is going to cause an energetic drain in you, right? If you don't do it, that's going to cause this thought that you're not worthy, and it's going to cause a whole repercussion of reactions, right? So it's just understanding the size of the impact if you don't do what you're supposed to be doing.
Ooh, I like that.
Right?
I like that.
So that's the first stage. And then the second stage is, okay, what's the bigger impact here, right? The bigger impact is that even if I do get rejected, at least I'll know that, I don't have to worry about this woman anymore, right? Because if I get rejected, well, then I can just move on, right? But if you never go and talk to her, that means that in your mind, you're creating this whole story that if you did go and talk to her, maybe something would have come out. And so going right into the fear and understanding what is the story that you're creating behind this fear, and then what's the story that will be created afterwards if you don't face that fear, right? It's just like me being on that cliff in Santorini. Hell, I wasn't gonna get down that cliff without having jumped. I just wasn't, because I was like, I am not walking away. And the thing is, I actually had been standing on that cliff a few months beforehand, and everybody jumped and I didn't. I just climbed down, like the safe way. And it was on my mind for these 2 months that I had not jumped. It was on my mind. It was on my mind. I did not jump that day. I didn't jump, right? That was a story that I was creating in my mind. So 2 months later, when I found myself back in Santorini, I'm like, I'm going to jump that fucking cliff. I'm going to do it. Because I don't want to get with that story, that I didn't, right? So when I was standing there on that cliff, I was like, I'm not getting down here without having had the experience of jumping down. And I don't care how long I'm going to stand here, but I'm going to do it, right? So that's another thing. And what helps me particularly with public speaking is to understand that, if I don't shine, if I don't show myself, if I don't speak my truth, even if it's not in a perfect way, there's all these people who, are so wanting to hear me because I've got that something, right? That's going to trigger them and it's going to shift something in them. If I don't allow myself to speak, that means that I'm not allowing all these people to speak. Right? By shutting down my power, right? Just like you walking onto that woman and asking her out, you're disempowering her, right? By not going up to her and allowing her to stand her ground with her own opinion. Like that's what it actually boils down to, right?
Or giving her the gift of it as well. Maybe maybe she wanted me to come up and talk to her, right? And you're depriving her of the gift of feeling pursued or whatever feeling she would want to get out of that.
Yeah. And then the way you're going to phrase your question will be completely different as well. Because if you can see that that you are empowering her by standing in her truth, because what you want as a man is the truth, right? You don't want her to say, oh yeah, maybe. And then, she'll show up, she'll rock up at your date and she'll be like, half checking her phone and half like disconnecting from you. Like you don't want that. Right?
Oh God, it's horrible. Nobody wants that.
That's right. Yeah. Nobody wants that. So what you're doing in that way, by going up to her and speaking to you, allowing her to step into her truth, right? And so if you see that as your question, you know, me by empowering myself to go up and speak to this woman, I am empowering her to step into her truth and empowering her for speaking what is on her mind and speaking what's in her heart. Because when you're connecting with a woman as a man, you want to connect to her heart. You don't want to be connecting to her mind and just fuck her, right? You know, of course, maybe that's what you want to do too. And that's great, right? But at the end of it, like even when you're just, you know, it's just really get into the grips of it, right? If you're really connecting with a woman, there is something in her that attracted you to her, even though that's just a reflection of you. But you get what I'm saying? So there is something that you find super attractive, right? You want to share that space with her. You want to be in that presence, right?
Right.
Even if you just want to fuck her, right? You still want to be having her presence. You don't want to, you know, you don't want her to be just like some weird dead robot when you're about to, you know,
No.
the only space. You want her to connect with you. So
yeah,
ultimately,
I want her to love that. I want her to just fucking engulf me.
Yes, that's right.
I get it.
By not stepping into your power, you're basically, you know, taking away this opportunity between both of you. You're taking away the opportunity of true heartfelt connection and beauty and truth and resonance.
Yeah.
Right? So not only are you missing out, she's missing out too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and there's something else I got from there. You also said that, you know, obviously if you don't approach the girl or do this thing, you have that regret, right? But you're also, two things are happening. You're feeling like shit because you just like pussied out from talking to this chick. But the other thing that's happening is subconsciously, you just told yourself that you're not worthy of that girl. And now you're creating a whole other subconscious layer of non-worth. I'm not worthy. I'm less than. I'm not good enough. So it's a double whammy. You know, A, you're afraid to do it. You're depriving yourself and her of a possibly wonderful experience. And by not going, subconsciously, you're teaching yourself that you're not worthy of that, which sends you down the rabbit hole the wrong way.
That's right.
That's powerful.
And we do these decisions. We take these decisions every single day.
That's intense. So,
you know, we don't just do it walking up to the woman, right? We do it just
every day, everything.
Yeah, getting up in the morning and deciding about our lifestyle. That's what we do every single day. You know, we bail out on these things that we really desire, right? Yeah,
I bailed out on this podcast. I could have launched this thing several months ago, and I just procrastinated, and then I finally realized, like, I was afraid.
Yeah.
Okay. And I deprived myself. I deprived whoever likes listening to this stuff of hearing it. And it was just, finally I just got to the point where I was like, I don't fucking care anymore. I don't care. It felt good. It felt liberating.
Yeah. So you gave yourself that experience, you see. Every time we take a decision from that empowered space of, okay, I've got this fear going on. I've got all these feelings rushing through my veins, but guess what? I'm still going to do it, right? You're creating this new story for yourself. And this is where everything starts, right? You can start that new story right now.
Right. How many people have that job and they deserve a promotion and they're afraid to ask for that promotion or afraid to quit that job and start the career that they really want to do, right? Everything is fear. Everything is fear. Everything beautiful lies on the other side of the fear.
Yeah, that's why going head into it is the best way out, because you realize that the fear has no power over you. It's just a feeling.
You just jump right into that. Boom. Dive right in.
That's what I did when I left for my my world trip. You know, any like normal person would have thought I'm fucking crazy, right? I had $500 in my account when I stepped onto the plane to fly to London, which was going to take me to LA.
Really?
$500.
That's
Every single
ballsy.
person be like, oh my God, Lizzie, how are you going to do it? It's going to be insane. They're like, how are you going to pay for everything? And, you know, because people think that before, and I used to think that too. And I was like, I'm going to fucking prove myself wrong.
Yeah.
I'm going to prove myself wrong. I'm going to still do it because I feel the calling to go. I felt it in my guts. It was there since I went to London. Actually, since I had moved to London, I always wanted to do that, right? But in my mind, I had built all these stories that I need at least 20K on the side, and I need to at least do this, and da 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 da, you know, like, and I need to, you know, I need to have my round the world ticket. I need to have all these insurances, and I made up all this construct in my mind, right?
Right.
That I needed money to go travel the world, and you know, and truly what I needed, I just needed the empowered decision. That's what I actually needed.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Something I've noticed is that when you do just say, fuck it and go for it, when you make a choice, the money always shows up. And I'm assuming, I don't even know your story. I'm assuming you went with $500 in your pocket. You went to London and the money just showed up, you know? You got into alignment, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where everything beautiful happens when you're in alignment. Everything goes your way. You meet all the right people. Everything just seamlessly falls into your lap, right?
Yeah.
And it happens.
And it did happen for me.
I'm assuming, is that what happened with you? I know that's what happened with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. I've been blessed all the way, I have to say. And this is where, you know, I blew my own mind and I blew everybody else's in my family's minds. Like, this is how powerful it is. I was just talking to my mom yesterday and she said, I talked to Dad yesterday and we both think you're so courageous. Like not even my dad would have dared to do what I did. Right. And my dad was like the guy that I looked up to, like, for all my childhood. Right. And I was like, fuck yeah. I did it. And I'm still on the road and it's beautiful. And, you know, this is not saying that, you know, I'm just like boasting and this is what happened. Like, no. This is just what happened. But at the root of this is amazing human connection. And that's what I found. That's the gift that I found, that I was so disconnected from living, you know, a 9-to-5 job style life where, you know, you feel that you have to take care of yourself. You feel that you have to do everything. You have to control every single thing, right? You have to control the income, the outcome. You have to control, you know, and this goes on all levels, right? Money, energy, feelings, thoughts, words, right? Income, outcome. You have to control all of that layering, right? And so in order to be safe, in order to be accepted, in order to be loved, in order to be received. And what really lies at the bottom of this is that, yes, when you do take that decision, and I'm not saying, you know, everybody should go travel the world without money. That's not what I'm saying, right? I'm saying that if you have that calling in yourself to do something, and and everybody knows that. Everyone has that. Everyone has that little voice of, oh, I should be living this lifestyle. I should be doing this. I feel really passionate about this, but I don't feel that I'm an artist enough to, you know, make art or do a concert. You know, I really feel like talking to like a bunch of people, but then you're not even allowing yourself to create your own circle of meditation, right? Like it's crazy, all these stories that build up. But what I'm coming to terms with is, if you have that calling in yourself and you kept ignoring it, what's the next step you can take to go into that, right? And allow yourself to have that experience, right? And it goes in stages. It goes in tiny little stages. So you're practicing, you know, just like I was practicing from the 1 meter when I was tiny, right? And I kept going higher. You know, you keep practicing that, but allow yourself to have the experience of victory, because no one can give that to you apart from yourself. When you take that empowered decision and you just fucking do it, you're giving yourself that experience, right? Giving yourself that fucking amazing experience that you are totally able to do something like that, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I feel like I lost my thread, but I feel like I've said what I need to say.
No, you said quite enough. Excellent stuff here. So, how do you bring people into alignment, right? I mean, is that key from what you're doing? Just getting them into alignment, bringing their vibration up. I know you like to use. I saw this amazing video of you where you were literally doing like a shadow boxing type thing, and every time you threw a punch, you were like, "I fucking love my life. It's sunny out. It's fucking sunshine. I love it." And you were just like going on this rampage of stuff that you love, right? And you were associated with motion. And I know that motion is so big because, you know, I learned this from Tony Robbins. Motion creates emotion. And when I'm feeling in a low vibration state, I will, you know what I learned works for me? I don't know if this works for women, but I start beating my chest like this, like a fucking gorilla. And it just brings me into a power, right? A more, just a strength, a courageous, confident type place. Like, you
Holy moly, baby. I
Yeah.
totally love what that's doing to you right now. That's for sure.
You can't do that. Right. You can't do that and not feel good about yourself is what I'm saying, right? Just like when you're standing there and you're shadow boxing and you're like, I'm in fucking Hawaii. My life is fucking amazing. You can't help it to feel amazing, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well,
I mean,
actually,
don't make me ask you to stand up and show that.
Yeah, I'm happy to share it. Like, I actually want to share it, to be honest, because I think it's a powerful tool. I learned this tool at a training. It's called ISTA. So they lead sensual and sexual shamanic retreats everywhere in the world. And they're just fucking amazing. Like, if you guys want to liberate yourselves on a deep level and like burst out like a huge, whoops. Apparently my phone is running out of battery. That's not fun. But if you really want to, you know, dive into that, oh my gosh, I totally recommend it because it's so incredibly powerful to be able to, you know, lead the life that you really want to lead from your body, right? Really feeling that empowerment in your body. So the yoga boxing I learned from Laurie Handlers and Frank Mondiosi, so they're two facilitators at ISTA. And basically what you're doing is exactly that. You're rewiring your whole nervous system with new information. So basically what we do is when we go into a story, we go into the story and it becomes real in our actual body, meaning, you know, it actually releases emotions. It releases, like our brain starts to release hormones, and those hormones produce emotions, right? So everything is connected. And so you stay there, right? So by getting your body into movement, you're moving your whole body into a new story. So the way I handle this and the way I teach it to my clients is, first, I box out what I don't want. So this is where the no is so empowering, right?
Okay.
You say to the fucking universe, I'm fucking done with this. And I'm not stepping back from this. Like, this is it. I'm done. And then you're saying whatever you're done with, right? Or you're moving the energy against a person, because sometimes you have a trigger, right? You have a person triggers you severely and you don't know what to do with it. So you're just boxing it out against that person. Then you go into the stage of the yes. Then you affirm what it is that you do want. What do I want instead, right? Instead, I want liberation. I want to feel free. I want to be the most amazing life coach on this bloody planet. And you're just affirming it, right? And swearing for me works very well because I was educated in not swearing at all, right? So that to me feels empowering. It feels empowering for me to swear because it kind of brings out the rebel energy. But you don't have to swear at all, right? But
I like to swear.
You do need to mean what you say, right? And this is where the boxing, you have to just keep boxing. And then I go through the last stage, which is the I am stage. So I go into the I am, I am powerful, I am goddess, I am whatever it is that is coming through in that moment. And I just literally just channel that into my body, whatever it is. And sometimes you can just do gibberish if you feel totally awkward doing it and you don't even know, you have this emotion that's there, but you don't know what it even is. You can just go, figure it out, right?
Excuse me.
But what is the most transformational is when I go through those 3 stages. So the stage 1 being the no, the stage 2 being the yes, and the stage 3 being the I am, right? What am I? I'm a fucking warrior and I'm going to take over the world. I'm going to liberate the goddesses. Like, this is what it basically activates the I am presence, which we all have, which is actually our divine, right? Our divine is purely and simply, right? We are divine. Every single person, every single being, every single particular in this cosmos is divine, right? So when we activate the I am with the yoga boxing, we were creating this new story in our mind. And it's amazing. It really is powerful because, because you're bringing it down into the body. And I'm a total passionate freak about the body. I love everything connected with the body, and I think this is why I was born a dancer as well, right? Because I love being in the body. And there's no such thing as spirituality without embodiment. Otherwise you're staying in a mental construct, in a concept. You've got to bring it down into the physical body.
That's amazing. Yeah. I mean, even when you're just moving in general, doing anything, jumping jacks, your yoga, boxing, right? You're feeling good, right? And then you're also anchoring the affirmations that you're saying with the feeling. I'm a fucking warrior. I'm a fucking warrior, badass king, and I'm feeling that, and you're feeling good, and it's getting ingrained with you. It's one thing to say affirmations and be like, I'm a warrior. I'm a badass, I'm a beast. But if I'm like, I'm a motherfucking badass, that is that's getting hardwired into your system.
Yeah, and that's why, because especially this is something that I learned from my dance training, is everything that's connected with our hands has a direct connection with our spine. So especially dancers, if you don't know this, and it's like fucking cold outside and you need to get warm like in 5 minutes, I suggest you crawl on the ground like a monkey, and you just crawl up and down, or like a lizard, and you're just moving. That gets your energy heated up in no time, right? So there is something that's connected to the spine. So if it's connected to the spine, that means that's a direct call line to your brain, right? Because your spine holds the nervous system. So, moving your hands, especially in cross motion, or, and doing those 2 together, rewires your whole system, right? It reconnects your whole body. So, that's something like a little dance.
What was the last thing you said there? I lost you there for a second. What was the last part?
You want to be moving both sides.
Oh, you mean just doing one side? You want to have balanced sides?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So one of the other things I love about you is that you are really outspoken about helping your clients, not only obtain, amazing sex, amazing relationships, health, but money, fucking money. Some people are so afraid to acknowledge like money is important. I know a lot of people in this industry that don't want to admit, and money is important, and it's just a thing. It's an energy, just like anything else, right? But you need it. You want to eat, you want to live somewhere, you've got bills, right? Money doesn't necessarily buy you happiness, but it sure does fucking eliminate a lot of problems. And
Yeah.
I love how outspoken you are. Like, I don't like people that hide around the money. Like, oh, money's evil, or, money isn't important. I'm content, being poor. That's bullshit. When you're poor, you can't help anybody around you. You're of no good to yourself or anybody else around you. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm. You just hit the nail on the head, baby. That's right.
Boom.
Yeah. It's so right, and it's so true. And I feel that I was scared of money. I think we all are at some stage, right? Because everyone around us just talks about money being something evil, and only wealthy people do this and rich people do this.
They're
And then we see all
jerks.
these crazy politicians, who make like tons of money, and then everyone starts to blame them, like we just voted for them, we believe in them, and now what they do is they just like rob our banks, right? And they just fuck out to Tahiti with their latest escort and just spend it, and I'm like, yeah, of course, like as a society we have been taught about money in all the wrong ways. What you do with your money is you just go on a yacht, and like that's what we think we're doing with money, right? It's like having lots of money, that's what you're going to do. You're going to buy a yacht, you're going to buy a mansion somewhere in a nice place, and then just be standing there like a statue on your own house, right? Like, no, that's not what people do with money, right? And you don't have to do that if that's not what is in your alignment. If it's your alignment, please go ahead and do it. But yeah, as you said, like if you're poor, you're that's not going to help you in our society either, right? It's not helping you, it's not helping your family, it's not helping people around you, but it's also not helping this whole construct and this whole mentality that we have around money, right? Money can be incredibly empowering, right? I just had my first client who paid me 1K straight into my account, like literally only last week, right? So up till now I've been doing sessions one-on-one, and people sort of would pay per session, but she was like, no, I want to work with you, and I want to work with you again. And in fact, she purchased 2 extra sessions for me to work with a client of hers. Like, just, I think to me as a mentor, in terms of a compliment, there's no greater compliment that a client could ever give you than to offer you their client, to work with, so that they can then go back and do the work that they really want to do. So
wow.
Yeah, humongous, right?
Huge.
Really beautiful. But coming back to money, like to me, feeling supported in that way was like, fuck yeah, this is what the universe wants me to do, right? This is an affirmation, right? It's saying yes to something that I've been embodying, right? Money doesn't just come rolling through the door if you work hard. Money rolls through the door if you have so much integrity with yourself, and you're standing in your power, and you're allowing yourself to stand in your power every single day. And when I say standing in your power, it's not just your power of voice. Like if you just walk through all the chakras in your body, every single chakra has a meaning. So you want to be activating that power in every single chakra. So you want to be activating the power in your root chakra, which is, owning your sexuality, owning the survival, knowing that you're going to be okay, right? Then the sacral, creating intuitively. Like if you feel like writing something, like I know that my blog posts usually come to me in the most awkwardest places ever, right? Like exactly when I don't have my notepad and I don't have anything, that I could actually write on. So most of the time I do have my phone, so I created Evernote, like I've downloaded Evernote, so I just, write down. But sometimes it comes like in little fractions. So what I need to do is be open, receive that creativity when it comes in, and just be like a vessel, right? And then, oh, this is coming in right now. Oh, this is coming in. And then I just put it down, even if it's just like quick words, but to just allow myself to be in my own creativity, and to allow my creativity to take its expression whenever it wants to, right? Going to a cafe or a restaurant and feeling like I need to talk to that person, and I don't know why I need to talk to that person. Turns out we spend the whole day together, and we're just like buzzing, and we're exchanging on energy and the universe and everything, and you just go, whoa, this was just because I took you know, the decision to create something with this person, right? So that's your sacral. Then kind of leads into the solar. Like the solar is all how we shine, how we show ourselves. It's the sun, right? How do we put our light out into the world? So for me, this is creating videos and posting them. Just like that video that I posted where I was yoga boxing because I visited a strip club and I got very triggered by, you know, the whole thing in there. So, and I just posted that, even though it felt, you know, oh my gosh, that's so scary. It's like, okay, what am I afraid of? Okay, I'm afraid to be rejected. Right. Okay, cool. Do I believe that story? No. Okay, am I going to post this bloody damn thing and explain why I'm posting it? Fuck yeah. So I'm just, you know, showing myself, right? Then with my heart, you know, how am I allowing myself to stand in my power with my heart? Well, I'm nourishing heartfelt connections. You know, I'm nourishing friends, you know, who I feel connected to in my heart, right? I'm speaking from my heart. I'm moving from my heart. What does my heart want me to do today? What does my heart want me to eat today, right? So I go in that, and that's how I empower my heart, you know, knowing that what I'm feeling is right. And then speech is easy, right? So just speaking the truth, speaking the things that you don't want to speak about, but that you feel inside that you should be talking about, right? Then, you know, how can you feel empowered with your third eye? So your third eye is all about the connection to vision, right? Allowing yourself to have that full vision, the full vision being, okay, I really want to manifest $1,000. Why do I want $1,000? Well, I want $1,000 because I want to buy my ticket to New Zealand and I want to go on this canyoning trip, and this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to have the experience, and I'm seeing myself on the canyons, you know, already, and I'm seeing myself in places and seeing, you know, like the vision, allowing that to come to me. But also sometimes I have intuitive visions in the moment, you know, when I'm walking through a street and I receive some kind of a color in my third eye, and I notice it, and then I stop and I look to the left and there's a heart on the wall, right? So it's like reminders. I'm seeing, allowing myself to take the power of the vision in this hologram. What am I seeing right now that I haven't seen before, right? And then your crown chakra is all about your connection to the universe and to the grander aspect of you, like the fully embodied, you know, energetic size that we all have. We're fucking huge. If everybody knew the size that they could take energetically, holy moly, we'd be like gods in front of these beautiful pyramids, like you statues, like standing tall. Like this is how fucking big we are. Energetically, we can grow in size, right? So, you know, standing in your power with your crown chakra is allowing that full vision, that fully embodied energy that you are, right? We're so connected. It's insane. Right?
Yeah. It's beautiful.
So, and this, you know, this is just, you know, this is just going through the 7 chakras because it's the easiest way to break down energy, right? And to break down what the actual energy parallel is in our life. But yeah, I guess this is what it really boils down to, is our power. And when we allow ourselves to fully embody our power on all those levels, well, the money will just come because the universe knows that we mean the shit. We mean business, baby. Right?
That's right.
When we walk into a room and we're fully embodying that, we mean business, and people will come to you. Trust me, they will come to you.
That's right. You walk
just
in,
like
you own that, right? No, seriously. When I go to networking events, I can look around the room and all of a sudden I can just tell, like, I need to talk to that person. Like, and it usually happens once or twice per event, and I'll go up to them, and then once I meet them, it's apparent why. It's either they could be a potential guest on my show, or that I do finance. I do mortgages back here, finance. Or they can help me with that. So it's like I've developed this intuition that works at these networking events. I'm like, I need to meet that fucking person, and every time it's right. There's a reason for it.
Manifesting money, like the quickest way to manifest money is to go into your emotional block. Always, right? Because we always have stories that we created that make us feel unworthy, right? Even if they're not true anymore, those stories are still acting out in our mind, and they're creating emotions.
Okay.
Right? So going into those emotions and allowing yourself to feel your emotion is the quickest way with money, right? I learned this beautiful exercise from an empowered sexual, well, she's a sexual coach to me, really. She's amazing. Like, she teaches women about orgasmic manifestation. So how to manifest, with your orgasm, with your sexual energy. But I've learned this money exercise from her, which is amazing. So you're just looking at your figure of how much you're earning right now a month, right? And then you keep doubling it until you start to hit an uncomfortable level, right? So what if I was to earn like 200K a month? Oh my gosh, and then you just feel, yourself into it. The way she
You mean like a level that you can't comprehend? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Or you're just kind of like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, you have to watch out for the numbing feeling as well, because some numbers are so high that your body just goes numb. So you want to hit that double that makes you feel uncomfortable, and then you want to stay there, right? Because when people go into like 200K, maybe that's too much already, right? Because it's so far away, you don't even know what it means, right? So you really have to go slowly and watch your body and watch, your thoughts and stories that start to come up and creep up.
Okay.
So the way she handles this is she will go into the story and then clear the story, right? So with one of her techniques. But for me, what I found was the most effective with emotions is with emotions. So I really start to monitor, okay, how am I feeling, and how is my body reacting to that sensation, right? And when I feel that constricting sensation, right, that's when I know, okay, I've hit something there. What is that constricting sensation? And then I, journey back and I clear it either through the power boxing. So I'll be like, okay, I'm done with this emotion. I'm feeling like this. I don't want this. I hate it. I just let it come out. And then I want to feel this. Boom, 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 boom. You just move that. And then I am wealthy. I am abundant, right? So you're just moving through that. So that's one very quick tool that I use. And then another one is sensual and sexual energy. So I get myself into pleasure mode. So literally go into self-pleasure.
Ooh la la.
Yeah. And then
tell me more.
Basically, I tapped into the fact that our orgasm is the direct call line to our higher self and to our universal self. So when you're actually experiencing an orgasm, that's when your body is the most relaxed and the most surrendered, right? Because some people call the orgasm la petite mort, the little death. So because it feels like you're dying, right?
I've heard that.
Right? So you're like in this zone. But actually that zone is the hugest catapult into manifestation, right? And I coach my clients through this, like with, very specific ways of how to do it and how to embody that. But, it all boils down to the essence that our orgasm is the moment that we are the most aligned with the universe and with the universal energy. Because we just drop all the beliefs. Like, you can't have an orgasm and think about your bills. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, it's totally impossible because you're completely surrendering, right? So just prior to experiencing your orgasm, you can actually call in visions that feel connected to all of you, right? So, chakra, sacral, all the layers that I've mentioned before. So you can call in that vision, and you can bring it in, and you can allow yourself to receive it, because your body is in such a receptive mode that the universe will go, oh, okay, this is what's happening down there. Okay, let me just so they go in there, they do that little DNA operation on your cells, like while you're having your orgasm, embodying and weaving in those energies and those visions that you want to call forth. So this works particularly well with money. Yeah. So manifesting.
So you're saying, let me get this straight. When you're on the verge of having an orgasm, you consciously, while you still are able to think straight, you bring in on purpose thoughts of like this, this Aston Martin car, or your house, or your relationship, or whatever it is that you're or money, right, that you want to manifest, you bring that in, and you're saying, and then you have an orgasm, and then so you're basically combining those thoughts,
with that emotion,
like anchoring them with the orgasm.
That's what I'm
Wow.
saying.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some top level stuff right there. That's a pro tip.
Very. Yeah. It's like huge. When I tapped into that, I was like, holy moly, this is awesome. But obviously, like, you know, when you're building into that vision, like the more heart-centered it feels to you, the quicker it manifests, right? Because you can visualize, like, you know, a Maserati, but if on some level in your chakra system you don't feel that that's actually what you really want, it probably won't happen.
Gotcha.
I mean, this is just like a boiled down version of why it wouldn't, right?
Right.
But it's got to be something that feels fully aligned with you. So my preference, to be honest, is to call forth emotions. How do I want to feel?
So I think about like that job that I hate, like being liberated from that job, like how amazing it would be to break free from that bullshit 9-to-5 job that I hate. Something like that.
Yeah, that means you're going to be manifesting your job again in a different way. You've got to stay positive, meaning you don't want to be thinking about your job. You want to be thinking about the lifestyle that you're going to have.
That's what I meant. Thinking about like how I'm going to feel once that job's eliminated. I'm going to feel free. I'm going to feel confident. I'm going to feel powerful. I'm going to feel amazing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you want to bring the job into the equation.
Don't bring the job up. Don't. So just think about those essences that you want to feel, those energies.
Yeah,
Don't even think about the job.
Yeah. What would you do if you felt liberated?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe you'd go cliff diving like I did. Maybe you'd take a trip down to the countryside. You know, what would you do? Right? Because that's what you want to be envisioning as well, right? Like, what would I do if I feel empowered? Well, if I feel empowered, I'd be, you know, talking to hundreds of women about orgasm, right? That's what I would do.
Yeah.
And then the following day, I might talk to 3 or 4 people about this, because then you have to show the universe that you mean business too, right? You've got to align your whole life around that. It's not enough to just envision and, you know, orgasm yourself into your vision. You're not actually taking the steps, right? So you do need to take the steps as well. But what I'm saying is that the orgasmic manifestation works if you are doing both at the same time, because, you know, energy always moves on all levels, right? It moves in our mind, but it also moves in our body and moves in our hologram. So when we embody that which feels empowering and aligned to us, then our hologram starts changing, just like what we talked about in the beginning of the session. When you take that decision and you go do it, and then the universe will, you know, things start to show up.
Right. So something I like to talk about is this. A lot of people think that money or hard work equals a lot of money, right? I don't understand what's going on. I'm working so hard. I'm working 60 hours a week and I'm barely getting by, right? But in fact, the people that are the most successful work the least. It's effortless, right? What do you think about that? How does that, what are your thoughts?
Okay. So there's 2 layers here. There's the layer of not doing what you love, and that having an actual direct impact on you physically because you feel exhausted, and you energetically because you're just out of alignment, right? It's out of alignment, and so you're draining yourself energetically, physically, emotionally, everything, right? And you're pouring yourself into that. And you also want to be looking at why you keep doing that if it's not feeling fully aligned with you, right? Because at the end of the day, we have the choice, right? I'm not saying that every single person on the planet has a choice. Like, I know that we do live in a time when it's not always easy, but how can you allow that to take place, that you're actually starting to do things that you really love, right? So that's one aspect of it. Usually that's got something to do with, stories that we created, that we have to do things this way and there's no other way we can get by, there's no other way, da 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 da. And then the second aspect is the power of ease, right? The power of ease being, the thought that it could be easy is already opening up the opportunity that it might happen. And the possibility is actually there, right? So how much are you aligning with the power of ease, even just in your mind, right? I was talking to an amazing person last week, and he said to me, we can learn anything. Like, I had to learn how to read a book fast, right? And I was like, wow, I never even thought about that, right? It's like, yeah, of course you can, because if you have that possibility in your mind, that's already a start. So that door is already opening, right? It's just you walking through that door and taking a step, right? That, yeah, actually I can teach myself how to read fast, so I can read 5 books in a week instead of 2, right? So it's totally a possibility. So it's just us having that flow with ease and allowing ease into our life. Because usually people who are burning out like that in jobs, it's that they have created so much structure in their mind and in their whole being, even in their lifestyle. They've cut out all these beautiful connections they used to have. They cut out all the things that used to bring them pleasure and joy and ease, because they're just so focused on that, right? So in terms of money flowing in easier when you're doing less, is actually connected to your energy. It's connected to the fact that you feel that money is easily coming to you, right? And money can take many forms and shapes. It's not just the number in your account, right? Money can just be abundance, things that come to you. And often what happens is, I've seen people who do work 60 hours a week and who do make tons of money, seriously, and then they go on vacations for 2 months in a year. But then, throughout that whole experience of working so much, they cause themselves such a havoc and such drainage, that when they actually get to the vacation, they can't even relax, because this whole time they haven't even connected with relaxing, not one single bit. So when you connect with the fact that money can come easily to you, well, it will start coming to you. It might not take the money form, as in notes and coins and numbers, but it might take the shape of, someone offering you a nice dinner, or, someone paying for you, or someone, offering you a gift that you've always wanted and you never allowed yourself to have, right? Or it could just be having an amazing conversation with a friend that actually, was the replacement of maybe 3 sessions with a psychotherapist, right? So it's just noticing how money is coming to you in multiple ways.
I love it.
Right?
So how do you, what's that?
I hope I answered your question.
Absolutely. You mentioned something, abundance mindset, scarcity mindset. Obviously, people that are struggling, they all seem to have a scarcity mindset. What do you do to help shift out of that? Because they have beliefs, false beliefs about things, like there's not enough money, there's not enough time. I'm too old to start down this path, or, you know what I mean? It's always a bullshit story. What are some techniques that you use to try to battle through that and shift the mindset from that of scarcity and lack to abundance?
Well, there's various things you can do. I mean, they're all over social media as well, like gratitude practice and all of that. But none of these tools will work if you're not actually using them. That's the first thing, right? A tool will work, like you can have a whole bunch of tools in your house, but if you're not using them and you're letting your pipes drain, well, that's just what's happening, right?
Right.
Because you're not using the tools that you actually have. But I feel gratitude is like a huge thing. And I go with people through gratitude tools, such as, setting an alarm every day, where they just stop for a second and just feel, okay, what did I receive today? Right? Oh, I received a house. There's always something you can be grateful for, right? Always. And if you can't find any, less well off than you, in terms of, it could be, less well off in emotions, or less well off in time, or less well off in money, or less well off in social connections, and then take their shoes and try to watch gratitude in your life, right? I was working with someone, that was a few years ago already, when I was in London, and he couldn't find anything, and I was like, okay, who's someone? So if your brother was to look at your life right now, what would he be grateful for? Oh my gosh, he would be so grateful for sleep, because he's got 3 kids right now. They're all tiny and he doesn't get any sleep. He would be so grateful for sleep. I was like, there you go. That was easy, right? So it's, sometimes we have to take somebody else's shoes and look at our life to find things to feel grateful for. Right?
Yeah.
Because usually people who can't find gratitude or moments to relax is because it's so entangled in being themselves in an egotistical way, meaning only what they are going through matters right now. That's like how much they are in the hamster wheel, that they don't even see anything else but them being exhausted in the hamster wheel, even though the hamster wheel doesn't have anything, to keep you in there. You can always jump down, right? The hamster doesn't stay in the hamster wheel for 24 hours a day, right? It will go down, we'll go on it for 2 hours and then jump back off, right?
Right.
The people, what they just keep doing, they just keep rolling on the hamster wheel rather than just stepping down from the hamster wheel and slowing down. So that's another thing.
Yeah.
Right? So the alarm is just a trick to slow down, right? Because you notice, oh, time's going by, right? Time's going by, but right now it's 12 o'clock, and right now I'm grateful. What am I doing right now? Well, I'm speaking to you, right? So I'm really grateful for that.
You're so grateful.
A good conversation. There you go. So gratitude is a huge thing for me, I feel, because it activates you noticing your world. People go about living not noticing where they are.
They take everything for granted, and that's what my advice for people when they're trying to think of things to be grateful for is to start with things that are super basic. Like, hey man, do you have a roof over your head? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Some people don't. Mm-hmm. Do you have a car? Yeah, I got a car. Some people don't. Mm-hmm. Do you have food? Have you ever gone without a meal? Okay. That's some shit to be super grateful for, but no one even thinks about that stuff. Can you walk? Yeah. Can you see color? Some people can't see color. You ever see that? Those videos where they put on those glasses for the first time and they're so overcome with emotion, they just start crying hysterically.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful to see those colors, but we don't realize how beautiful it is because we see them every day. But that is the shit that you need to be grateful for, right? Mm-hmm. And it's so easy to find those things. Everyone's always thinking about the big stuff, like, everything's going wrong in my life, this and this. I can't think of anything. It's so easy though. You could come up with a list of 100 things in 5 minutes just by walking around, looking outside.
That's right. And then really embodying that gratitude. What does it feel to be grateful for, even, right? Like, to be grateful for something. Like, I actually had an experience in Hawaii where I had run out of cash, and I was by myself. So there was, I had run out of cash and I couldn't get money out of any of the ATMs. And I actually had to go without a meal for like a few hours, right? And I was like, fuck, I'm really hungry. I really want to eat something. And the thing was, in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been taking food for granted all this time, right? And then I was like, okay, I'm feeling grateful for this hunger sensation now because, and the next time I had a meal, I was like blessing my food. And since then, I bless my food every single time because I'm like, it's actually a gift from Mama Nature to give us food.
Yeah. Right.
So just to give you an example, right? Like sometimes we have to go without things to understand how much they mean to us, right? And it's like when people get into scarcity mindset, and the thing is, like, it's easy for us to talk about this right now because maybe we're not in that situation. And it's easy for us to say, well, it's just, it's just some shit story that they made up and it's a false belief. In that moment, that belief is very real to them. So, it's also important to acknowledge that reality, right? Acknowledge the reality of something that feels so fucking uncomfortable. Because a lot of people just bypass it. They just want to get out. Like their mind is just like, oh, I don't want to live that. I don't want to live that. I don't want to live that. So I'm just going to project on, worrying. I'm going to project on problems. I'm going to project on all these things that are going wrong because I don't want to feel that sensation of not being where I want to be. Right?
Right.
So, that's one thing that I help people go through as well, is to go into that uncomfortable emotion and release it from the root out, Like, what is it? What's the story behind this emotion, right? Why is it that you're not allowing yourself to feel this well? Because maybe you've been betrayed over and over and over again, and every time this trigger is hitting, it's actually hitting a real story in your system. Because our body stores all these emotions and all these stories. They are in our actual body. They are there, so they're vivid and real. So, there's a vivid fear and a vivid emotion that's being projected, and, and we're not wanting to look at the screen because it's so damn painful. So that's the reality of it.
Right.
People are in those stories, that there is a reality within that. Even though that reality might be a replay of something that happened way long ago, it's still very real in the moment. So what I'm helping people is to really get into that reality fully and, use my magic tools to, dig it out. But it's so beautiful when you can see someone dropping shame or dropping guilt like that, at the end of the session go, wow, I never even felt that. I never even saw that. I never even knew that this was there.
Yeah.
And then once there's that acknowledgement, they felt it so much that it's like, hey, so now that you felt it, now that you're free, what do you want to do? Wow, I'm actually going to go and book myself a massage tomorrow because I feel worthy of it. Fuck yeah, you're going to do that. Embody the God, so embody the God in you, of course, right? We deserve to live in that free flowing life. We so deserve it. And sometimes we can't see that we deserve it because we're so entangled in our hamster wheel.
Yeah. Well, thank God you're here to help us do the work and to discover the magic.
Yes. I'm so grateful.
So how do people find you? When they listen to this and hear about how amazing you are and they want to be about, have you work your wizardry on them and help them break free.
Well, I kind of have this no BS marketing thing. So I just want people to connect with me directly. Just, send me a private message on Facebook and we'll get talking. Because I'm all about, really meeting people where they are. Like, and this is what I teach my clients to see clients, like, entrepreneurs and people like that. It's like, you need to connect with your client. Like, you've got to be on that one-on-one level always, right? So I currently don't even have any ads running or anything. It will be something that I'll be setting up very soon, but just because I do feel that is, also a powerful way to speak up in the world. But right now I'm very much onto this no ad strategy, right? Like no ads, and people will come to me because I embody that energy. And
yes,
I allow people into my field, and allowing people into my field will bring me what I need in the moment, and bring that person what they need in the moment.
I love
very
that.
Much of that.
Yeah, just you being you is going to generate and be radiant and attract your tribe and your people and the people that want to work with you. Because when you're in alignment, everything goes your way. Everything.
It sounds like sorcery or magic, like black magic, but it's true. It's so
it's law of attraction, it's just,
I'm the living proof of it. Like I'm actually proving myself that I'm the living proof of this.
That's right, because everything is just a self-manifestation anyways,
That's right.
You're either self-creating or self-destroying everything that's going on in your life. So
yeah, that's the ultimate truth, is we are the creators.
yes.
This is why, you know, spirituality, like the new spirituality says, like, you know, we're divine, we're God, and da da da. Well, there's nothing blasphemic in this. The truth is we are the creators of our lives, and we choose every single day by saying yes and no to things, right? The
Yes.
unspoken no is how we hold ourselves back from creating our yes every single time.
I like that. Say that again. The unspoken no.
The unspoken no is the way we hold ourselves back from being the creators of our yes.
That's beautiful. That's profound.
Channels right down from the universe, baby.
Right down. That's it. So, hey, if you're listening to this and you like what you hear and you want to break free from some shit and get rid of some fears and step into the greatness of you and have amazing sex and have amazing orgasms and have money and have all the energies that you want in the world, reach out to Lissy on Facebook. It doesn't have to be fancy. Send her a message and she'll talk to you because she connects. She'll connect with you. It's as simple as that, right?
Just as simple as that. And you might actually see some ads coming up soon. I'm actually in the process of creating an e-course that I'm so excited about.
Okay.
And it's all create, right? And then I realized, well, we're all artists and we're all creators. So, you know, this is what it boils down to.
That's beautiful. So I'll tag you in this post so people can just reach on out to you. It's real simple.
Yay, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. And start living the life you want.
Yes.
I love it.
Deserving of it. So deserving of it.
We deserve everything.
Give yourself that experience of living the life on your terms.
That's it. On your terms. That's right. That's why I started this. Life untamed. Untamed.
Yes.
You know, not beholden to anybody but you.
I love that. And it's a beautiful project. And I know you're going to be super successful with this.
I appreciate that.
You're hitting a niche that needs to hear you. So
I appreciate it. I love talking about it, and I love sitting here talking to people like you, and I had a great time chatting with you here. I'm honored that you came on. Yeah.
Loved all your questions, and your presence is amazing. Yeah, you're totally embodying the warrior, and I love it. It's awesome. It's fucking sexy. Yeah, baby. I'm going to do that.
You like it. Right.
Too, embodying the divine masculine.
Rock that, right? Step into your power. I love it. Thank you. Hey, we'll do this again sometime if you'd like.
That'd be awesome. Yes,
yeah?
Let's do it again.
And then maybe you'll have your e-course up. We can talk about that and all kinds of other badassery type situations. All right, Lissy.
So much love to you and to everyone who's watching. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right. All right, everybody. That concludes today's episode. I hope you enjoyed.